A lot of the principles and techniques you'd use to be successful in something like business can be applied to fitness in an easily translatable way. So if you've seen success in one area, it's often very easy to replicate that over to fitness. Fitness by itself is inherently quite simple. So if you understand what it takes to win over here, then you can quite simply win over here. I'm gonna break that down for you today. The overarching idea is that inputs lead to outputs. The same way that in business, if you put in a bunch of work, you hire the right people, you put some effort into a certain outcome, it works the exact same way in fitness. But the beautiful thing about fitness is there's a lot less knowledge and luck involved than there is in business, whereby in business, you've got to try a whole bunch of different things to find out which one works, then scale that one up. In fitness, it's pretty clear what works. There's been science on it for years. The simple recipe to get in shape is to work out consistently, follow a decent diet, take rest days, get enough sleep. It's pretty simple. You put those 4 inputs in, and over a long enough time horizon, you'll get the output that you want. Another key point, when you track success metrics in business, you can track them the same way in fitness. At least every year, if not every quarter in business, you should be generating P&L statements, right? Profit and loss statements. Those and other KPIs are gonna tell you how well your business is doing. And when you interpret that data, you can make changes and lead to better performance, hopefully. Or you can decide to sell the company because it's all going under. Anyway, that's besides the point. With fitness, there are facts, figures, and indicators as well. Things like body weight, things like calories, macros. And if you track these and keep an eye on these, you can moderate them and change them in order to get the outcome you want. Let's take calories as an example. Every person has a basic metabolic rate, right? The amount of calories they burn through on a daily basis. If you eat less calories than this, you're gonna lose weight. If you eat more calories, you're gonna gain weight. Therefore, you can analyze the amount of calories you're eating the same way that you'd analyze, let's say, costs, expenses. And if you find you're not losing weight, reduce those calories. It's that simple. If you wanna build more muscle, track the amount of protein you're consuming every day. If you're not building enough muscle, increase that protein number. The output will be more muscle. If you find yourself run down and unable to recover, track the amount of rest days you're having. Chances are it's probably not enough. Bump that number up. So there's overlapping when it comes to tracking too. If you're an analytical person, getting fit should actually be quite simple because it's only a few numbers you need to track. Calories, protein intake, sleep and rest days, more or less. Tracking progress as a whole is actually very, very similar. A key way I get beginners to track their progress when the scale isn't fluctuating too much is through things like strength numbers. A lot of them have journals. They write down the amount they were able to lift this week as compared to last week. You can see a gradual increase up if you're doing things right. It's the same way that if your revenue is slowly increasing, your costs are staying fixed, your profit's slowly increasing. It's the same thing, just in different fields. Another key part of expanding businesses beyond a certain point is bringing in specialists. You know, when you start out in business, it's very tempting to be the genius with 1,000 hands. You know everything and you employ these little underlings to do your bidding, right? But once you get to a certain level, you start employing people smarter than you in certain areas to handle parts of the business because they can do it better than you. Time aside, right? They can do it better than you. So when you bring in multiple of them, you've suddenly got 4 or 5 geniuses building a business as opposed to one overlord ruling everything. This is why people hire nutritionists, personal trainers, coaches, because these people are more qualified and more knowledgeable than them. Therefore, they'll lead to a better overall output if you, the individual who's training, just follows what they say. If you were to get a personal trainer to walk you through everything, every single session, your sessions would improve dramatically. Why? Because their whole job is to build you a good session. Your job isn't even fitness. Your job's over here. Same with a nutritionist. Sure, you could figure out your diet, and a lot of people do. That's what I did to begin with. But a nutritionist's job is to be really, really good at making diets that lead to results. So instead of trying to juggle all your other things as well as being your own personal nutritionist, you just hire one. Then you get the absolute best of both worlds without investing any extra time. When it comes to balance, it's also very similar with a work-life balance as it is to a fitness life balance. If you go too hard one way or the other, all in on your work or all in on your lifestyle, for example, the other one's gonna suffer a lot. It's gonna be a juggling act, right? You've got to maintain both. If you go too hard on your work, your partner's gonna be angry. You're not gonna see your kids. It's the same with fitness. You go too hard on your fitness, the rest of your life, like your work, is gonna suffer. Relationships, like your kids and your wife, they're not gonna see you. So again, it's a balancing act for both. But if you have a good work-life balance, it's very easy to have a good fitness life balance. That's why I stress so heavily that people need to find a way for fitness to fit into their lifestyle. You can't just drop everything and become a bodybuilder, because for most people that's super unrealistic and not that desirable. What are some ways I recommend to do this? Well, if you've already got the business lifestyle thing sorted, you can just replicate the same for fitness. But how I do it is being very distinct with my time. I have a distinct time I always go to the gym and a time I'm always back. That way, if anyone's relying on me, they know I'm gone for this time and they know I'm back at this time. I'm also quite clinical with my workouts. I'm not there for more than 45 minutes to an hour unless I have lots of extra time. If I feel like I've not seen my partner enough, for example, I'll go with her to the gym. So it feels like she's not missing out. She's not missing out on time with me. The same ways that you balance work with lifestyle, you can balance fitness with lifestyle. Quick little video for you today. I get a lot of clients and potential clients who are very interested in business and doing well financially, but they're struggling with fitness. And this is kind of the spiel I give to them every time. There's a lot of overlaps, right? If you're good at one, you're often good at another. Success can be transferable. So if you got some value from this, you want to see more videos related to business and fitness, subscribe. I've got a lot more coming. I'll see you in the next one.